Wonderful. I'd like to introduce you to possibly a new channel. We are doing a test recording at this time. We'd like you to consider where the lighting may or may not be appropriate or may not be good enough for the conditions under which we're recording. We'd like also for the sound volume, if I'm speaking up a little bit louder, or perhaps if I'm just whispering like I want to tell you something between you and me. Well, thanks anyway. You have a great rest of your day and get you on the dark side. In the middle of the night, Furman, who's the head of the case,
Yeah.
Sergeant Furman, he says he wants me to head over to OJ's apartment, OJ's house, his mansion, right, and see if he's home, because there's a chance that he may be involved and he may be subject to injury or some sort of other, criminal activity because his wife's dead,
Right.
and maybe they're after him too. So go check up on him, right? And I go over there. And I determined that I can't get in because he's already left for the way I found out later. He left for the airport. He went to Chicago.
Yeah.
Right. And and nobody was answering it. The guy in the back, what's his name? You know his name.
Oh, the Kato.
Kato. Right. Thank you. He wasn't answering. So I'm just there at the gate. 10-foot high walls and a gate, and there's nobody there. Nobody answering. And so I'm saying to myself, here's where you articulate, what if, okay? What if OJ is in there? What if he's injured and can't talk? Or what if he was killed, like his wife, and he's laying on the floor in there?
Right.
I don't know this. Right now, all I know is this could be an emergency circumstance, and if I were taken before a court of law, before 12, men and women who are just the average thinking people like me, I could explain to them I was concerned for his life. It was an exigent or emergency circumstances, what in the police program called exigent, but emergency, and that a potential emergency, and I wanted to do a wellness check, make sure he's okay. Yeah. So I had to scale the wall without warrant.
You jumped the fence.
So I jumped the fence, in order to check him. And in my process,
it wasn't only you. There was somebody else that jumped it.
Yeah, I had a partner who jumped it with me.
That was Furman.
No, Furman was over at the crime scene.
Oh.
But in any case, I jumped the fence, and then I started, looked around the main house, and and then I saw the Kato place, the guest house, and so I went there and checked. Again, no answer, no signs of life, and I went around the back where it bumped like with maybe a 3-foot leeway between the back wall. And then there's the guest house. And so I went back there, look, and that's where I found, and it was manicured, because he had it mowed and everything. And that's where I found the glove,
Out of
so
place.
I grabbed a pair of tweezers and a plastic evidence bag, popped it in there, okay, sealed it, signed it, dated it, timed it,
No
location was found.
kidding.
Yeah, that's chain of custody. You have to do that.
That glove is famous right now.
Yeah. And then I turned that over to Furman. Of course, asshole. If he told me he wasn't going to stop by the evidence room, crime scene locker and stuff, and turn it over that night, and but go home instead and do it the next morning, I would have said, "I'll do it," And we always call our superiors chief. Hey, chief, I would have done it. I'll do it. No problem. I can go home right after. It's on the way. I'll stop and get it logged in so we have, good chain of custody.
Yeah.
But no, he didn't do that, so that was part of the problem too. As they said, he took it home and doctored it and all this other shit, put OJ's blood on it, you know what I'm saying? They got from the crime scene. And how can you say no?
Well,
he did take it. It was in his possession for 8 hours.
There was 2 gloves though, both of them didn't fit.
The one glove was found at the crime scene.
Oh.
Where she was murdered.
Oh.
The other glove was found behind his house.
And you're the one that found it behind the house?
I found the one that was laying on the ground behind the house.
Oh my God. Wow.
And they did, they not only they had his blood, they had her blood on it.
Yeah.
Nicole Simpson.
Yeah.
So
My
both
God.
of them, and she was murdered, so both their blood's on her. And how did this find its way to OJ's house?
Oh, these are all good questions.
Yeah, well, this is what was raised up in court.
You have stories that are untold.
And they said the only way that could happen is because he went through his drawer. We got into the house. Kato had a spare key to the house. And so we got into the house eventually, and we got Kato out. And we went through his bedroom.
You were in OJ's house?
Furman did, yeah. Well, I was in the house just like in the,
Oh, you didn't go in the
downstairs.
bedroom.
In the public way, in public rooms. But yeah, he went upstairs and went
I
into the
bet it's
bedroom.
nice.
Yeah, and he was looking, for the knife, basically, looking in the drawers. So where did he stash the knife? And he came across bloody socks.
Oh.
Friday, February 28th,
Another one?
1997. Two professional bank robbers overtake a North Hollywood branch in Los Angeles. Sporting a military-grade arsenal and covered
That
nearly
was
head to
my
toe in
assignment.
body
That was my
armor.
area, my
As
duty
fate
area.
would have
Oh.
it,
North
an
Hollywood.
LAPD officer in the right place at the right time witnessed the moment the gun
That was Danny
entered the bank.
who observed it. He was driving down the street and he saw him at the door with guns in their hands, right at the Bank of America
two
door.
robbers swiftly exited the bank, spraying over 1,000 rounds at police. Over
my God.
44 minutes in 2,000 rounds.
44
exchanged,
minutes.
The streets of North Hollywood turned into a living hell. And
Look
extremities,
at that.
basically
Legs,
making
hands,
them pretty
arms.
much invincible against the police who have 9mm. And speaking of bullets, holy shit! They loaded out with Norinkos with full auto conversions, 75-round Chinese magazine drums,
Jesus.
semi-auto HK91, two Berettas, and a fucking.
But you weren't at this one though, Duane, right?
This is the one that I rolled into,
I
yes.
can show you
Oh.
the sweetest
I wasn't
deals
there
online
then.
you shop from major
They were in the
retailers
bank
like
all by
Amazon and
themselves.
Target. You can drop
Nobody knew they were robbing it yet.
But you were involved somehow with it, right?
Yeah, just keep watching. Listen.
All right.
While on routine patrol, as fate would have it, LAPD patrol officer Martin Perello entered the bank's intersection of Archwood
Martin saw
and
it.
Agnes.
Oh, you know
When
him.
he spotted the two heavily armed gunmen entering the bank at
Yeah.
9
You
seconds.
spot him going in
Yeah.
with the guns.
And
Yeah.
just like that, the milliseconds before the heist started, it was already over.
Yeah, that's Martin. You hear his voice?
Oh,
Inside the
Hyped
bank,
up he is.
the SWAT team.
And they practice every day. I mean, everyone works 5 days a week. Their work was running track, climbing mountains, doing all
hitting
kinds of shit
the
like
KL-9
that.
chopper's rear stabilizer. Until a group of officers who raided a nearby gun store to obtain higher caliber
That's not
weapons
you, is it?
returned and landed a shot
That could
on
be.
the HK91.
I was heavier then too.
Phillips picked back up his Norinco
Shit, I just had a
until his
mustache.
weapon stovepipe.
You were part
Not
of
knowing
the
how to
SWAT
clear the
team?
malfunction, he pulled out his Beretta and continued
No.
firing.
Not specifically as
And
patrol.
suddenly,
Oh.
realizing
But I may have joined in on with
Larry
him,
Phillips
Yeah.
took his own
But-
Beretta
'cause I knew the captain
and
of
ended
SWAT.
his life. LAPD officers Perello and Farrell enter the perimeter of a parking lot
And that's
across
when
the
I was
street
called in.
and are soon joined by multiple officers rushing in to the area.
Wow.
An anxious Larry Phillips noticed the silence outside of the bank. There was no longer any foot traffic outside.
No cars.
Or even a single car on the usually busy roadway.
That's right, Old
He
Canyon
walked
Boulevard
halfway
is
out of
really
the bank
busy.
and heard nothing but the freeway noise coming from a half a mile away. And in that moment, he realized the police were waiting.
Jig is
At
up.
which point both men could hear sirens of the cavalry.